Today let's talk about skin picking. This can be quite complex, especially if you have complex PTSD, if you're dissociating and zoning out, it just adds an extra layer on it. So I will talk about why this is more complex for us, and I will also share some tips with you that I use myself, right? I'm a skin picker too, and I used to bleed, especially around my nails. I used to constantly bleed on all my fingers and scratch off the scabs. I couldn't have scabs, like things like this. Oh, it was really bad, right? It's not something that we consciously choose or feel like we have a choice. To me, it always felt like it was out of control. It wasn't like I was looking at this thing like, oh, should I be picking this scab or not, right? It's like half the time I didn't even notice that I was picking it till it was bleeding. And perhaps it's the same for you. And as I will be referring to it as skin picking, but there is the more professional names if you do get diagnosis. But let's not even focus on the labels and diagnosis so much. Just let's look why is this so difficult for us, right? And for me, partly was because I was so dissociated and zoned out and so numb that sometimes that sensation when you touch, when you're picking this, that burning sensation helps you to feel more alive as well. I'm real, I'm here, I've got a body, right? Because sometimes when you're in that crisis state of complex PTSD, it gets really difficult when you have long periods of being really, really numb. And that's not the only reason, that science has shown that there's certain parts of our brain that are more activated or more active than other parts, similar to people who have obsessive compulsive disorder, and it's kind of listed as one of those anyways. So it's because it's a compulsion, it's not, or impulsive, it's not a conscious choice. It doesn't seem like we are in control of this. So at times, even when I was studying, I was reading, I was typing, I was writing, and the other hand was scratching, and I didn't even know. I was picking something, and it just happened, right? And especially around my nails, I used to bite it as well. Maybe you do that too. So if you're doing it, you know what it feels like to you, and what that looks like and how that plays out. And when you're more likely to do it than not, right? Like I just said, working at the computer, that's a big area where I would do it, perhaps for you too, maybe when you're watching TV, or sometimes when you're really feeling stressed or anxious about something, or a bit worked up, or an overwhelming situation. All these kind of things can contribute to that. But let's just look at it. What can we actually do about this, right? Because it's much more important, I feel. So one thing that really helped me, and that was actually by coincidence, really. I started working in labs. When you work in a lab, you wear the surgical gloves, the blue gloves, and when you touch your skin with the gloves, it's no longer the same. I could no longer use my nails to actually pick off the scabs. I could no longer bite my nails. So it was seeing this blue glove was a reminder not to do it. And in a lab, you're not meant to touch your face, because otherwise you might contaminate the sample, or we're using really toxic reagents, so you don't want to have them on your skin. So wearing this glove really helped me. So at home, when I was reading and stuff, I also used to put on gloves, not the surgical gloves, especially in winter, not in summer, but some softer gloves, or even the wash mitts. I don't actually know the English word for that. Something to slide into and that has a soft feel to it, that feels nice on my skin, and I can touch my skin with that, and using that as a reminder not to scratch or pick my skin while I was reading, and not noticing it. Okay, so that helped me. And another thing that I found super helpful is what I learned from Russ, and that's the urge surfing. He calls it urge surfing, and he uses that metaphor of a wave. You know how when the waves are coming in from the ocean, they're really tall, they're standing up, and they're big, and as they reach the shore, they fold over, and then they kind of reach the sand, and they fizzle out into nothingness. And that's the same with an urge. The urge builds up, and it's so intense. Like, you know, even because I touched this before, I can feel this now, and I saw when I scratch it, the urge is there, it's really big. But I know that it fizzles out soon. But like a wave, it comes in swells. So there's usually, as that one fizzles out, the next one's coming, right? So to know that there will be a few urges before there is a bit of a lull, a bit of a break again. And the better we get at surfing that, like becoming the surfer, riding those waves and trusting that it will fizzle out, the more we're trying to fight it and then beating up on ourselves. So learning that's really helped me. Just the minute that urge gets really intense, I have that, you know, I think of waves. I have pictures up of waves as well to remind myself. So that's been really helpful. And afterwards, it's also a key, you know, because even having all the tools, and please share your tools down below too. What are you using, so we can all learn from each other? So there are only two. There's many more things that you can do. But I want to mention one more thing that's really key afterwards, right? That time when you scratch yourself and you're bleeding again. And it's instead of beating up on yourself and getting really frustrated and angry and, you know, all this and feeling hopeless, and it's like, I did it again, and it's right? So I like putting coconut oil on it, right? Please check with your doctor first, but this is something that is actually okay for you to use, but it has some antimicrobial properties in it, and it stops the sting a little bit, and it's a sign for myself that I am nurturing and caring for my body. Towards myself, right? I had that slip, but it's neutral. It's not good or bad, or, you know, I'm not a failure. I don't use whatever happened to let that define who I am. It's just, okay, I'm bleeding again. Let me look after this now. Right? And sometimes even if I notice myself picking on something, and especially around the nails in winter, when just the smallest little bit sticks away, it's sometimes the urges are too intense, and I just put a band-aid on before I even rip it, right? So it stops me, it reminds me, nope, I'm not doing this today, right? So that can help. And wearing elastic bands, you know, just the normal elastic bands that people use to tie up bags and things like that, and having that around. I used that for a while. It was kind of, some people really love it and find it very helpful. To me, it was kind of okay, so I wore it. It wasn't that beneficial, but try it as well. That sting gives you a similar sting if you want to just feel alive again and want to feel your body and your container. This is me. Then that can help. It doesn't help so much when you have something sticking and you want to get rid of that scab or something, right? It's more for the sting sensation that I'm still alive. And one other exercise I want to share, I just remembered that, spontaneous share. No, it's one that I learned more recently. It's from Stanley Rosenberg. He has a book that's called Accessing the Vagus Nerve, I think. I'll put it there. I'll put a link then in the description below as well. And in this book, he talks about a basic exercise, and what that does is help you switch from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic nervous system, and it does that shift so you're a little bit more calm. Because generally, when I'm picking, I am feeling a little bit stressed. Not always. Remember, sometimes we just do it and we don't even notice that. But if that happens so I'll show you how that goes. So you actually put your hands together like this, and then you put them behind your head. You literally let your head rest in this. It works best when you're lying down, but once you have it mastered, you can do it sitting up or anything. But what this does now, I don't have my fingers to pick, and I can't do anything. So I have this there, and then what you want to do is you're going to keep looking straight, like I do. I look straight at the camera. But what he does is just suggest that you look with your eyes to the right as far as you comfortably can, and you stay looking to the right for at least 30 seconds or 60 seconds. You look till you have the need to sigh or yawn. Okay? And when that happens, you look back to the center and you look the other way. And also, let that be for 30 or 60 seconds till you kind of yawn. And it is really relaxing, and it's kind of also interrupted that urge surf, right? So when you feel that urge, you can use, like I said, you use the metaphor, you're watching the wave and you know it's going to fizzle out, or you're doing this as well. I find that really helpful too. So I hope it's helpful for you too. I know this can be quite a frustrating thing because it's just such a powerful urge, and this is something like I have done as long as I can remember, from a very little child, and I still sometimes do it, as you can see here. And just a couple of days ago I accidentally got my finger a little bit again, so I'm work in progress here, but it's nothing like it used to be, and I can have some more kindness towards myself. I no longer beat up on myself when I slip or do something like that, and that's the healing power, when we can have compassion for ourselves, you know, always say sprinkle loving kindness towards ourselves there. So as always, sending you lots and lots of love and rainbows to brighten up the tough times just a little. See you guys, bye.